But we've already got some Coronation magic for you, some Coronation stuff, because Lance Forman is here, former MEP, of course, also the co-owner of Forman and Field. I say co-owner, perhaps you're just the owner, are you?
Well, yeah, with my wife, of course.
With your wife, of course. So that's a co-owner then. Forman and Field, wonderful food company. He's made something called a Coronation box, which I just put out as a picture a minute ago, which has got all sorts of delights in it. Some cheese, it looks like some crackers, some Coronation chicken, of course.
Of course.
Some rather nice-looking pate, Forman and Field desserts as well, some a pork pie, perhaps, a sausage roll. It all looks rather lovely. Thank you for bringing it in.
Pleasure. Well, Charles did actually say that he wants people to celebrate his coronation.
The King?
With the King, yes. King Charles, absolutely. He said he wants us to celebrate his coronation with street parties.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, we have to rise to the occasion and put together a fantastic collection of British food.
Absolutely.
So I got together with my chefs about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we came up with this wonderful thing, the Coronation box, which
is great, because one of the things that people don't particularly necessarily want to do is sort of cook and go to all the trouble of all that. So this is just, you just get this delivered.
It arrives, if you're exactly. It's for two. The idea is for two. If you're joining a street party, you might take yours with you. Yeah. You might want to share it out. You might want to take a few of them, or even if you were just watching in front of the, in front of the telly at home.
There's quite a few things here, aren't there? I mean, there's a sausage roll which looks rather good. I'll just hold that up so that everybody can see, because you can always tell a good sausage roll by the pastry. I always
and can you see the little crown on the top?
I can see the little crown on the top.
Yeah, it's all made by our chefs. And we've got a fantastic team of chefs. The chef that runs our kitchen that makes all this was formerly the executive chef on the Orient Express train.
Oh, really?
So, and the chef that pretty much runs my business was trained at the Connaught, Gavroche.
Yes.
You're talking...
Proper top-end
This
stuff.
is top-end food.
Now, if I take a little bite of the sausage roll, you may have to speak for a moment.
Okay.
So tell us something about the sausage roll.
We've tried to use, British ingredients throughout. So the sausage roll is made with Welsh lamb.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Really good.
Again, all handmade. We start actually with the tartare of what we call our royal fillet of smoked salmon.
Yes.
And we've infused that. So we've tried to find foods and drink that Charles really likes.
Okay.
We've done a bit of research around that.
Smoked salmon is your thing, isn't it?
Smoked salmon's our thing. The royal fillet is the best cut of the smoke. It's like the fillet steak of smoked salmon.
Okay.
But we've infused this with martini because he likes to have martini as his pre-dinner tipple.
And where do I find that?
So that is the one right in front of you to the left. Just there to the left.
That one?
Just closer to you.
Oh, here.
That is it. So.
Oh, this is salmon. Okay.
Yeah, it's a tartare of salmon infused with martini. There's a little olive and lemon at the top because we don't know whether people prefer their martinis with a twist or with.
Oh, that's good. So it's basically smoked salmon just sort of wrapped around.
It's basically smoked salmon chopped up into a tartare with a few nice little herbs and infused with martini.
Delicious.
We have now. Charles loves mushrooms. He loves wild mushrooms. Loves wild mushroom risotto, and he's also a massive egg fan.
Right.
So we've made a wild mushroom risotto Scotch egg.
Wow, and that's here.
And that is there.
And it's got a softer outer casing than normally, you would say, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we try to keep the yolks pretty softish too, actually.
I've had your Scotch eggs before, they're delicious.
Yeah,
because that's the great secret, isn't it, to keep the yolk.
It is. You don't want it sort of rock hard. So it's nice and gooey and that's encased in wild mushroom risotto.
Oh, that's good.
Vegetarian. I mean, there might be some. We've tried to. There's a bit of fish, meat, vegetables.
Well, he's a bit he leans towards vegetarianism, doesn't he? A bit.
He does, but he loves mutton, for example, which is why we sort of went for the lamb in the sausage roll.
Right.
Now, the other thing, it was a complete guess on our part, and maybe an educated guess, but of course now they've said that they want people to be eating quiches.
Yes.
And when we designed this, that announcement hadn't actually been made.
Right.
But what we've included is something we call a flamiche.
Okay.
And it's with spinach also. He wanted spinach with it. Yeah. So it's with spinach.
That sounds like something from The Sopranos. I got a flamiche over here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
sorry.
I love The Sopranos.
I don't know.
You got me on a whole. Yeah,
no,
I love The Sopranos. Yeah. So it's with spinach and salmon. And the difference between a flamiche and a quiche, this is like an upper crust quiche. So instead of with a quiche, you make it with
this
whole
is a flamiche here. There it is. You see, it looks really good, doesn't it?
It is good. So a quiche is made with whole eggs and milk, and with a flamiche, you make it just with the egg yolks and cream. So it's even richer.
Oh, that's delicious.
It's really, really
and
yummy.
very salmony as well.
very salmony. Salmon and spinach.
Right, very nice.
Then, of course, we just thought you've got to have Coronation chicken in there.
Yeah.
I know that was devised for his mum back in 1953.
That's right.
There was a food writer called Constance Spry who came up with the idea of this sort of curried, creamy chicken.
Constance Spry, what a great name.
It's a fantastic name, isn't it? It sounds like a food, actually.
It does. Is that not the song they sing in Trading Places? Constance Spry, any time at all. It's when they're,
you know. It?
No, not really. I have this ridiculous memory for things in films.
Okay.
And there's definitely something I think the yuppies all sing when he gets thrown out of the gentleman's club. So Coronation chicken.
So you get the Coronation chicken. We've got some lovely Godminster crackers there, which also then go with cheese.
Yes.
And the cheese we've chosen, I know Charles is a big fan of cheeses, and of course
Godminster crackers. So here's the Coronation chicken. I'll just hold that up as well. Just being asked to hold all this stuff up.
And that's made with golden raisins, bit of curry, and
it's curry delicious. Powder, isn't it?
Essex barn reared chicken.
Okay.
So you know, all local.
This is great.
Red Tractor.
I'm not having any lunch now. And what's special about the crackers, did you say?
They're Godminster crackers. They're artisan-made crackers, and everything we're doing is artisan. You know, nothing is a sort of mass-produced food here.
Right.
The
thing about all the food that you guys produce, though, is it is absolutely wonderful. I'm not just saying that.
Well, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Smith living in any part of the country, or you're the chef at the most famous hotel in London. We will be supplying exactly the same standard.
Yes.
So,
and if you want to order one of these, you have to be quick, right?
You do have to be pretty quick. We are closing off orders on the 28th of April, so this Friday.
Okay.
Because, Monday's a bank holiday. Right. We have to make everything freshly.
Yes.
So it's not like we're just sitting with this stuff sitting on shelves, waiting to take them off shelves and deliver them. Literally, once we know exactly how many orders we've got, the chefs will just be working, you know, night and day.
And anywhere in the UK?
Freshly. Anywhere in the UK, absolutely. They're £90 plus £9.95 postage and packaging, and it all comes beautifully packaged with ice packs.
It's a nice present to send somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, this is a very special moment in our history,
I think so.
And it is worth a celebration. I think Charles is right on that front.
I mean, people who say that, I'm not that bothered about it, you kind of go, well, you kind of should be bothered about it, because, I mean, I wasn't around for the last coronation. I missed that by a few years, luckily. And I probably won't be around for the next one, but I will be around for this one.
Well, I have to say, last year I went to see the Queen lying in state, and I was in two minds about it because I heard about these 14-hour queues.
Right.
And I have to say, I think it was the best thing I did last year.
Really?
It was, you know, we travel, if we're able to far-flung parts of the world to go and see historic monuments and so on. This was living history.
It was living history, yeah.
And, you know, you could be part of it. And I think this is something, you know, the coronation will be similar. It's something you're going to sort of tell your kids about and so on. I had the most... It's just the most extraordinary thing happened to me on the way to visit the Queen, because, you know, in that 14-hour
And how long were you in it for
7 miles,
14 hours?
I was there from the beginning, right the way through. And about 12 hours in, I was just crossing over Lambeth Bridge, and all these marshals said, can everybody come to this side of the bridge, please? Right. So we all sort of headed over. He said, what's going on? Charles gets out of his car. Right. And starts walking down, shaking hands, and we had a little chat.
Nice.
It was very nice. I was wearing my old college scarf, which was his college scarf as well. So I don't know whether he recognised it.
He possibly did, yeah.
Maybe he did. But it was just a very. You know, I went to see the Queen, ended up seeing Charles, and then, as we sort of moved back after Charles had walked on, they said, "Oh no, stay here." Right. And then, of course, William comes down too. Oh, great. So we had a little chat with William.
Very nice. So you see, those are the kind of things that would never happen.
You never know what's going to happen
if you hadn't done that.
Exactly.
You know, that's why it's always a good idea to be involved in it, because if you miss it, you know, you're kind of missing out on something, as you say, which is really historic. What do you think you'll be doing on the actual day of the coronation then?
Well, this year? I think, you know, we'll be celebrating, you know, with this sort of wonderful
and
food.
It's a very British day, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice... I went to the Queen's Silver Jubilee. I must have been about 14 or 15 or something, maybe even younger. But and I still remember going to that. And you do remember these things.
Oh, yeah.
They sort of these historic events do mark your...
My memory of that was I came home and my parents lived in a flat in a very nice part of Hampstead. And I came home and my father sort of thrust these 2 tickets at me, or 4 tickets actually, and said, "Have you ever heard of these people?" And it was 4 tickets to the Queen Silver Jubilee concert at Earl's Court that night. And it turned out that the guy living next door was a sound engineer for Queen, and had just knocked on his door and said, "I've got these tickets, do you fancy them?" Fantastic. So I went with my parents. We couldn't find a 4th person, believe it or not. And we were about 10 rows back. watching Freddie Mercury and the guys doing this incredible concert. It was amazing, and that was my memory of the seal, because I think I was a bit of an anarchist when I was 17, so I don't think I was that interested in the
rebellious then.
In the coronation.
But what are you going to be doing on the? Are you reporting?
I think I'm going to be doing a show immediately afterwards at 4 o'clock with Kevin O'Sullivan. So we'll be here. So I'll probably watch it. At home, I guess.
But I think everyone will. I mean, everyone around the world's going to be watching this, aren't they? You know, so it's you've got to invest a little bit of time in.
Well, I think it's one of the things that Britain is very good at, and occasionally we have a sort of a faltering of our identity, our national identity, and it's nice to remember who we are. I think the government have announced that the Prime Minister will host a big lunch at Downing Street on Sunday, and the guests will include community volunteers from across the country. Maybe you should send him one of your boxes.
Maybe I should.
That'd be quite a good ad for it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The Queen of Puddings. We left that one off. The Queen of Puddings at the end.
Oh right.
The one with the. So that's.
I've got the King of Puddings.
That's the King of Puddings, exactly. The Queen of Puddings is quite a well-known sort of dessert, but we've changed it to the King of Puddings.
This lovely looking cheese as well.
Oh, the cheese is fantastic. That's an English cheese. Baron Bigod.
Right.
It's equivalent to a brie. It's equivalent to a brie de meaux, but it's English. And it's one of my favourite.
Well, this is going to go down very well
yummy.
with the troops. I'm sure that they will be scoffing all of this after you leave.
And this is lemon custard. We've infused it with a bit of whiskey. He likes a whiskey,
so he does.
A bit of whiskey in there too.
Right.
Raspberry coulis, and then there's that lovely sort of meringue crown on the top.
And I suppose you don't recommend beverages to drink with all this stuff, do you?
Well, we have included a little tea caddy of Palace tea, Earl Grey tea.
Okay.
Obviously, you'll need your own pot and hot water.
Yes.
But
that's nice.
We thought that would be a nice little thing.
There we are.
A Tea Palace tea, Earl Grey.
But no sort of English fizz or anything like that? You don't really sell that, do you?
We do sell English fizz, but we just thought, people do like to choose. We don't know whether people want a champagne or a Pimm's or, we just don't know what they're going to want. So we're looking after the food, and other people can decide on their what
well, I'll tell you what, you could do a lot worse than getting this box because it looks absolutely divine. And I mean, it's not the most expensive thing, but it's not that cheap either. But it's definitely worth eating.
It's quality.
It's quality stuff. And I mean, I would highly recommend it anyway. Everything I've ever had from your fine organisation has always been terrific. Absolutely brilliant. I'm told there's a text there for you. Well, you say that, but here we go. I've got a Jubilee box of biscuits in a red, white and blue wreath on the front door, but bunting's not up yet, but I still miss Liz and I like Lance. That looks smart, says this texter.
Very intelligent.
There you are. Obviously very very discerning, as all of them are. Coronation box looks lovely. Do they do gluten-free at all, says Jeanette in Hartlepool?
We do gluten-free food. All our fish cakes are gluten-free. We were doing all the fish cakes for Wimbledon last year, and about 3 or 4 days before it all kicked off, they said, "By the way, can you do them gluten-free?"
Right.
Said,
okay then.
If you want them gluten-free, we'll do them. So we do gluten-free food. This isn't. I mean, the tartare doesn't have any gluten in. The pudding doesn't have any gluten in, but there is gluten in the flamiche and the sausage rolls.
The flamiche.
So something. The Coronation chicken there isn't. So,
okay. So you can mix and match.
But there's a lot. I mean, we say this is for 2, but actually,
there's quite a lot of food here.
It would.
I mean, that will go around more than 2 of the people behind the glass there, I'm sure. Well, Lance, delightful. Thank you for coming in with it all, and we shall enjoy scoffing it, I should imagine.
Thank you for allowing me to share
Not
with
at all.
you and your
we'll
viewers.
See you back soon again on Plank of the Week, I dare say.
Look forward.
We've got a new studio. We're here, but we're back here. You don't have to go to Ealing anymore.